Hello friends, and welcome to Little Giant Crafts. Now, the primary goal of this series is to come out with a crafting video the first Monday of every month, but as I mentioned in my very first episode, I'd also like to do vlogs and, random smaller other things, and those would be, in between the normal crafting episodes. So I wanted to make one of those, and I thought what better way to start than to give a tour of my crafting room / office. I did very little, if any, cleaning or organizing of my space before filming. I want to give you the real deal. Here we go. So here we've got my computer where I do my drawing and writing and editing the rough cuts of the videos before I send them over to Jen to make them look nice. I've also got my drawing tablet tucked in here. And then here is my 3D printer. Normally very happy, but currently under the weather. I've got some troubleshooting to do. I'll probably make a little video about it at some point, so let me know if that interests you. Down here we've got some film and craft storage, mostly big pieces of styrofoam that I think will be good crafts down the line. Moving over to this area, you can see this is where I film my intros and outros. I've got this little mini tool organizer thing. I got it to hold lots of little things, paper clips, bread ties, popsicle sticks, screws. If I get a lot of bits that match, I'll put them in here instead of losing them in the big bits box. It's just nice to have all the little things organized. I've got some unbuilt model kits there. Down here we've got a mix of personal storage and crafting storage, or crafting materials. That's the dog bed. The tripod's usually there and he likes laying under it, so of course we had to put a bed there. This is where I have a lot of materials, papers, cardboard, chipboard, corkboard, sand and flocking, an absolute buttload of glue sticks. So I got this little file organizer thing, and I have a lot of different story ideas. Obviously with the podcast, cryptids are one category. I've got other stuff like giant monsters, superheroes, but whenever I have an idea or a drawing, I jot it down and I can put it here in the file, and I like to have it on hand because then all my related stories are together. Even if you're DMing a game or I think it it's useful. So there we've got the lava lamp. Not on right now because it legit takes 2 hours to warm up, and I forgot to turn it on. I had a Rancor head there, but it fell, so I have to fix that. These are the books that usually sit behind me, not where I keep most of my books. I've got a normal shelf with most of my comics and RPG books and everything, but I just wanted a little selection to have behind me because it looked nice. And my little fake plant that I got from Dollar Tree. Here is the backdrop shelf that's always behind me and in the opening credits. Figured I'd talk a little bit about it. So this is just a really simple shelf made out of cardboard and hot glue. Sometimes I'll make these just to give myself a little extra storage or display space because when it's cardboard you can make it whatever side you want. Now initially I made it for these guys. I've been printing a lot of deities. We got Anubis, Poseidon, Thor, Zeus, Hermes, a Natrapal, a Tropal, I don't know, whatever it is from D&D. And they're obviously much bigger than normal figures, so I made this to hold them all. And then pretty soon after that, actually, I decided to start making Little Giant Crafts. So I thought it would be good for a backdrop. And since you can't usually see much of the bottom shelf, I figured it would be good to leave most of them down there. On the second shelf, we've got my boy Godzilla, all-time favorite monster. like the 90s version, which, you know, in my head is just like the definitive Godzilla. A couple more gods. We've got Haster, Athena. We got a little Bombshell Harley Quinn. I love DC's Bombshell. It's like pin-up 40s inspired. Very cool. I got a little Boba Fett here. I don't remember the name off the top of my head. I don't see the name on it. I think it's a Tactics. But it was a bunch of toys that would like shoot and hit, but the goal of the game was to physically knock over the other characters, which is a pretty cool concept. Obviously got Pikachu, some Heroescape figures, which one of my favorite games, has so many cool figures, sadly out of print. But it's got like every time period and genre, an alien, a World War II soldier. It's got like Vikings, ninjas, robots, whatever. Speaking of robots, we got another one right here. Then I got King Kong and a couple of my Blood Ravens, Space Marines. Just picked the jetpack guy because, you know, colorful, thought he looked cool. And then I've got my one of my Primaris lieutenants, Castor. We've got some dice, a Velociraptor that I painted in Lost World colors, an Acklay from Star Wars, a little SD Gundam. I love Gundam, if you couldn't tell from the opening credits. This Roman general, also from Heroescape. Oh, so is Captain America, actually, now that I think about it. As I've said before, he's the one that I usually use to, you know, get a sense of scale. And then I got Beta Ray Bill, basically Thor if he was a horse alien. One of my favorite Marvel characters. Hopefully he gets a movie someday. Just a Mini-Mates figure I've had for a while. And then up here at the very top, we've got MODOK. I think it was not Disney Infinity, but some other like augmented reality game. I didn't play it, but I bought MODOK because, you know, he was a great scale with my other Marvel figures. Then I've got this little blue wizard guy I've had since maybe middle school. A long time. It came with like this giant like castle playset, but I don't really remember. Random off chance, if anyone happens to recognize it, please let me know. I would love to find out. Then over here we've got Bob Ross. Now, normally I'm not a huge fan of Funko, which might be blasphemous depending on who's listening. I like some depending on the style, but I don't know. It's just something about their specific style. I like cutesy things, just Funko's hit or miss. But I love Bob Ross, and I figure, you know, he's an artist, he's a good inspiration, so he has to stick around. And then the last two guys here are models I 3D printed, both from Rocket Pig Games. They're one of my favorites, and I'll probably do a video on them at some point. We got this just little baby tentacle monster. And then this behemoth, Cthulhu. I absolutely love their models. They're all designed to print without supports, which is really nice and convenient. He is not completely painted. He is a work in progress. So if you keep an eye out through the episodes, maybe you'll see some updates as I make progress on him. Then we've just got this table here, which is my primary crafting space. I've got this nice big cutting board and this LED strip, add a little color. So the table actually ends right here, and I've got another table here, but what I did in between is I put this poster board down to increase my workspace. Very, you know, cheap, but whatever, it gets the job done. I've got my paintbrushes, my cup of water, the tablet that I'm usually watching, you know, TV or YouTube videos on. This is what I use to hold all my model paints, mostly Vallejo. I had this tackle box that I was using for some other storage, but I decided it would be good for paints. Unfortunately, they don't quite fit upright, so I couldn't really use it closed. What I decided to do is, again, just out of cardboard and hot glue, I made a base in the back so that it can stand upright, and I also glued in a little cup next to it so I could put all my paintbrushes in there. Then I attached this little rope with a loop, and I put a screw up here so it can hold mostly closed together. And that way, with the lid still on, it's still, semi-portable if I want to move it between rooms. Then here, as you saw from my painting video, I've got my pill bottles that I can stick figures on if I want. And then over here, this table is my pile of shame. All my unpainted or half-painted figures. Well, it's like 75% of my pile of shame. I've got some other stuff elsewhere, maybe 60%. I got my Nintendo Switch hooked up to the TV if I need a game break. This closet's just toys and model storage, big pieces of foam. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about is my mobile craft storage. So this is I forget the name of it, but it's meant to be a spice rack holder that we got from IKEA. And as you can see here, it's on wheels, so hence the mobile part. And this is where I keep all the tools and supplies that I use most often. So like sometimes if I'm working in the living room, I can just wheel it all out there. On the bottom, you can see I've got my cheaper, like big acrylics. In the middle here, I've got glues, beads, a lot of like little bits, like skulls and stuff. And then up top, I've got my tools, my nice big straight edge ruler, a lot of blades and nippers, clippers, craft saw, got my green stuff, my magnifying headset, a lot of writing utensils in this cup here, and scissors, a lot of super glues, modeling glues, and then some more sandpaper and mini files for sanding. And that's it. As you can probably tell, I did very little, if any, cleaning or organizing of my space before filming. I want to give you the real deal. And as I've said before, it may seem to some like I have a lot of supplies if you're maybe newer to the hobby, but it's all stuff I've acquired, slowly over time as I've been hobbying. But I mean, you don't need a lot of space to get started. Like just that tabletop, that's enough. It's not huge. For bigger projects, I might work on the floor or something, but I just wanted to show you what my workspace looks like. I love seeing other people's. So, if you want to, drop a picture of your workspace in the comments, I would love to see it. I love tours of people's, hobby spaces. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this first little vlog. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already and want to keep up with our new videos. If you want to see what else we're up to, you can check the link below. But I think that's it for this time. Be creative, be kind, and take care of yourself.